And there's a reason for that. Probably because I am Chinzera Yuti, a.k.a. the one. Yaou peace to the goddesses and gods. It's your boy Chinzera Yuti, aka the one. And just like that, I'm back. Look, I told y'all, I'm GoPro 24/7. This shit do not stop. It don't stop with me. Once you wake up, it don't stop. It really don't. But peace, family, it's good to be back. I hope y'all checked out the Sneeko grilling reaction along with the Dr. Umar versus the Black Church. Both some bangers. I'm just gonna keep getting better. But today we got Young Pharaoh going in on Real TOON TV. And the title is actually Young Pharaoh Goes Left on Charleston White, Talks Aliens, UFOs, and More. So we're going to get straight to the video.
What y'all hear on this platform, shout out to Real TOON TV. And with that being said, peace, family, it's the General First. Y'all know I'm rocking high, Nick.
It's the General.
And, I enjoy being on this platform. A very a beautiful array of questions get asked.
Brother to brother, bro. Stop coming high as shit on these interviews. You only giving people room to talk. Pharaoh, all you do is, I know you probably got some of the best weed. I guarantee it. But I hope that's all it is. Just stop coming so damn baked to all your interviews, bro. If you at home doing your live, it's one thing, but you just give the people room to talk.
We're glad to have you back. It was such a successful situation. I see a lot of people making a lot of comments, all in the comment section about, the answers and the information that you gave the last time.
Hey, Real TOON, it's some real money in the room.
With that being said, you've seen, just for example, Charleston White. You know what I'm saying? The brother Charleston White, really out here putting in work, in the community, but controversial and in the same right, depends on who you ask.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this might be our first time disagreeing. I don't with Charleston White at all. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you all my reasons why, and I've done videos on him all. I'm gonna tell you why I don't with Charleston White. For one, Charleston White is not putting in no work. Charleston White is coming behind me saying shit that I've been already said. My thing is this: where the fuck was Charleston White all of these years when I've been doing what the fuck I've been doing? I feel like Charleston White is just another charlatan who sees an opportunity to try to get some clout and get some bread off of what is now trending, being woke and being an activist. You wasn't out here in the paint when they counted. You wasn't out here.
Insert.
I'm taking us back to slavery. I think we were much safer on the plantation.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want in the Illuminati, and there's nothing like keeping white people's secrets from everybody else.
And that's the point. I get Charleston White. He does do city council shit and work with brothers in jail and shit. But how much of your good work gets done by your bullshit message? That's all. Just be real. You can be funny, be a comedian, but be real. At the end of the day, people can see you. Insert. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
When it was really dangerous, you wasn't out here when the government was. Let's not say the government, but when unknown entities was really getting rid of motherfuckers. You wasn't out here. You out here now after the smoke didn't clear. You know what I'm saying? That's like we fighting in the street. We done went in the house with our battle wounds. Now you out here in the street just telling the kids about how we was out here fighting in the street. But you wasn't out here when we was out here fighting in the street. Don't come over here trying to get no mother clout off no shit you ain't have nothing to do with. And in reality, don't want nothing to do with. That's for one. Then for two, he lied and said he met me in Atlanta. I never met him in my life.
Wow.
So I'm like, don't lie and try to include me in your come up, because this the same Nature Boy did. This the same that Rashad Jamal did. Everybody always come next to me or try to get close to me and use me as a way to beam up. Don't come over here trying to do that. And then for three, I don't like that they said he was raping white men and white women, and that he raped girls. You feel me? He done told too many stories where he's admitting the rape. I done played at least 5 different videos of him saying, and I feel like for one, no matter how low down on the white man you may look or think, if you look so down on him, why would you rape him? That's gay. Why would you rape any man? That's gay. You know what I'm saying? If we get in the back room.
Insert.
Gay is gay. Thank you.
What? Huh?
Yo, Pharaoh is hilarious. I'm coming so high, but you funny as hell off the weed.
Come out, you know. So I feel like don't try to excuse no gay because you saying it's a white man. Like I would care. Like so if I walked in this room and seen you raping a white man, you don't think I would say what the f is you doing? You know, you think I'd be like, oh, that's okay because it's a white man. No, I would still be like, what the fuck is you doing? That's gay shot. You feel me? So I'm like, don't say that. Then he said they rape white women. I don't rape no woman. So I'm not approving of that just because you saying they white. I'm not approving of that. You know, you couldn't roll with me. You couldn't be on my squad. If I was going to a foreign place, I wouldn't bring you. Then he made another video about, yeah, I dropped roofie in her drink. So it's like you didn't put a Rick Ross, you didn't drop something in the drink and ran. And so I'm just like, your character is up.
Yeah.
Your character is up. And then another thing I don't like about him, I feel like he seen me get into it with it from Chicago. And then he just started trolling Chicago. Like he made a video where to me he was doing too much. He didn't cock the hammer on some from Chicago there in the interview. But then he knew he was wrong because in another interview later he tried to say, oh, you know it was fake because I cocked the hammer twice. But I'm like, nigga, you ain't cocked the hammer twice. You cocked it once. I seen it. We all seen it. I did a whole review, how I always do. So I'm just like, to me, that's a dangerous. Like Charleston White remind me of one of them old who just instigate young to fight all day, you know, or just like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he might seem solid if you're looking at him from a certain perspective. Anybody would, you know, but you got to look at what the fuck has this man done before he got up in your face talking to you, you know? Anybody could talk good, but the point is, what the fuck all have you done in your life before you got up in your face talking to me about what the fuck I should do with my mother life, you know? And, you know, I changed.
All right. So that's a little intro. If you don't know Young Pharaoh, now you know. If you're not ready for this, you might as well exit out the video.
Charleston White is the type of that started a riot in the jail. I'm telling you right now, Charleston White is the type of that to go in the jail and it'd be a riot because I'm telling you, I just seen it. Old ass goofy misinfluencing.
He might hit this and he might do a rebuttal video though.
I don't give a fuck if he do. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll blow Charleston White away. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna argue with him. I don't give a fuck what he say about me. I ain't gonna argue with you. You would just have to do it when you see me. So you would have to do it. Ain't gonna be no 911. Ain't gonna be that. I beat him through Charleston White and broke his neck like metal, like Snake on Metal Gear. So you would have to have it on you when you see me because I'll be there, broke both your arms. But long story short, because when black people turn up and we celebrate our natural talents, gifts, and achievements, it's like they always want to try to discourage us or turn our volume down or make us not feel like we got to be, you know, turned up. But they get turned the fuck up. They could be cheating and be dead, get turned up about a victory. Tyson Fury got turned up about 2 fights that his cheated to win and was taunting. You know what I'm saying? And you cheated. So if anybody could taunt, let it that one fair and square taunt, not a cheater. So I said that to say if they ain't got shit to say about Tyson Fury cheating Deontay Wilder 2 times, they shouldn't have shit to say about this black woman dominating on the court. She dominating on the court. I feel like sports these days. Excuse my language. Sports these days is watered down. This is why me personally, I don't watch them or participate in this because they watered down. You know what I'm saying? Even in football, you can't hit the quarterback anymore.
Pressure on Trump.
Oh, definitely. They trying to
right now he's been convicted of possibly 100 and something.
Well, he's being allegedly indicted, but DA Bragg, who I believe is if not the head DA, he's the assistant DA. But I said that's important because if he's not the head DA, then the head DA had to sign off on that indictment, which means they both actually should be disbarred. But long story short, the indictment against Trump is defective because, for one, it doesn't actually state any real allegations. And if it two, you got to afford Trump the ability to defend himself. You got the 6th Amendment, the right to confront your accuser. And this ties in with the 5th Amendment, your right to due process. And this goes into the 14th and the 8th Amendments, etc. So long story short, they violated his due process the same way my due process was violated in my case. And that's.
I'm going to fast forward, bro. The first one, I was just expecting a different interview. After the first interview, this just is not it. I mean, bless the brother's presence wherever he goes. You know, you got to make money, you got to feed your family. I know you got kids. Do what you got to do, but just even energy wise, like this just ain't it.
Kind of got a little validation with just the way, you know, the chain of events that's been going on all around the world. So with that being said, man, like the government has recently issued out the chief at the Pentagon said there's a possible mothership in our solar system. You know, government and it reported over 350 sightings, you know, just in the United States alone. So what do you know, we're trying to get your opinion on the state of affairs. What's going on today and why now? You know what I'm saying? Why they even disclosing this information? In your opinion, what you think going on?
You know, well, myself and a lot of people have had a huge hand to play in this type of thing. You know, this type of situation. You got people like Stephen Greer, who did a disclosure project in 2001 that got no media coverage. You know, Robert Steele, just a lot of people, you know, that played such a huge role. But in reality, I feel like I made a decision a couple years ago, you know, that directly lifted the veil and allowed people to see a lot of things. So the government kind of had no choice but to acknowledge, you know, that we all just clearly seen. And then for two, you know, my main thing is, you know, that I want people to understand is like the government is just now telling us something, but who knows in reality if the time is actually precise. You know, they could say something's just now in our solar system that could have been there. You know, who the fuck is you? How the fuck do we know? You know, we just have to take your word for it, like we take their word for everything.
I can't do it.
But in reality,
I can't do it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I can't do it.
There's some shit up there. It's shit in the ground. It's shit just like I'm a crooked judge or a DA. No, I'm not.
Look,
no, I'm not.
I'm
So
making my
it's just
point
like
right here.
you know, I just want people to know it is some shit up there. It's shit in the ground. It's shit all in the oceans. It's shit all everywhere. But at the end of the day, now that you know the answer to questions you've been dying, and you realize whether you wanted to do something or not, your can't. Now what? Life goes on. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing.
Here's my point. What the supposed to do with that? What the do I do with that? What the do I do with that? There's some shit in the sky. There's definitely some shit up there. There's some shit in the ground. There's some shit in the ocean. What the do I do with that? What the do little black boys do with that? What the black girls do with that? Like, bro, this is the problem. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make my point. Watch this. Outside of your status, outside of what you got going on, what the is the message? What the is the purpose? What are you going to do for our people with this shit? Like, at least Umar right now, I don't agree with a lot of this shit Umar says, but he's everywhere right now, and he's got a purpose and he has a message. At least he's got that. What the are we supposed to do with this, Pharaoh? Like, I love you, brother. This was the first man right here I ever offered an interview. Before I even did the interview with Shaka Amos, I offered Young Pharaoh. He never responded, but I offered Young Pharaoh the interview. It's not like I don't believe in the brother. It's not like he changed my whole perspective on life, but it was the old shit. Even his last TOON TV interview, there was somewhat of a purpose. It felt like he was all over the place. We had a bunch of different places, but it seemed like he came with a purpose. What the fuck is this? There's nothing. I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna try to find something because I don't want to speak ill. I don't speak ill on my brothers that if I don't think they're trying to harm our people. I don't think he's trying to harm our people, but like what?
When this is
Like since you've been doing this since you
carrying blood, though. I think his name was Michael. I think his name was Michael something. But long story short, yeah, that's the only time I ever even had a cellmate. You feel me? Or when I was, you know what I'm saying? And you just watching me all day like I'm a monkey. So that. But long story short, I just asked him like, yo, I want to live a righteous life. You know, just whenever I get out of jail, I'm like, I ain't gonna snitch. I'm gonna fight this gun case, even though it's not mine. I'm not about to, it's for me, it's a safety precaution, you know? It's just things in my life that I've been through that other people have not been through, to where they might feel that me doing things in a certain manner is worth my life being in jeopardy, to where I don't, you know? Like, I feel like, shit, I'm going to start doing lectures, but let me get settled in Costa Rica first, and let me be able to get a nice broadcasting studio and really broadcast this like the news, to where I can not only do the news, but I can also give presentations. You know what I'm saying? As an investigative journalist, but I feel like
where that shit at?
I need a break. I'm tired. Y'all not the one staying up, but you ever stay up for 4 days in a row? No, the you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Face breaking out, doing investigating. No, you didn't. So it's easy for somebody. It's like, it's easy for you to tell me you miss me to do what the fuck I was doing, but you don't want to respect the labor and the physical, and the physiological sacrifice of what the fuck I'm doing. My diet getting thrown off, my circadian rhythm getting thrown off. I'm breaking out. I'm staying up 4 days in a row. It's taking a toll on my intimacy relationships. You know what it's just like my whole life is on pause to do a job for a community that in reality people to this day saying they just now heard of me. So despite how long I've been doing it, so that's a factor. Then for two, I don't got time to be on no stage for somebody yell, "Get your hand out my pocket," you know? Like, yeah. So I feel like that it's easy.
It's easy, but I love you, brother, but don't nobody want to hear that shit. You trauma dumping on the motherfucking TOON shit right now. Like, that's the issue. You trauma dumping, you projecting on this part 2 they brought you back for a reason. Probably because part 1 was fucking fire. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Easy for y'all to say that because you was of the feds if needed. Belongs to Japan and say this. The reason I'm choosing Japan is the true spiritual gateway to Egypt. And if you choose go hand in hand with us, and all of this long-winded shit I'm saying is, all of this long-winded information I'm giving, I'm coming back to Japan and say this. The reason I'm choosing Japan is the true spiritual gateway to Egypt. And if you notice, when they dropped that bomb on Japan and on Hiroshima, the only thing that was still standing was that Torii Gate.
That's right.
And that Torii Gate is the gateway between realms, the physical and the spiritual and the mundane. You know what I'm saying? So yes, so all of that type of like Atonism, which comes from Pharaoh Akhenaten, is the Egyptian form of Buddhism. You know, Buddha was in Egypt as well. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, if anything, I want my kids in a history class taught by a Japanese teacher way before I want them in one taught by a white teacher.
So you're thinking about 10 years, you'll be out of the U.S. for sure?
If it ain't no drama, I would love to come through the U.S. and build here as well. If as long as it ain't no drama, but for sure, you know what I'm saying? For sure, I'm going to be gone if I feel like I can't live here, you know? Because it don't even got to be to my own doing. It's just the way the motherfuckers is moving in this country, you know? I ain't got time. Like I said, I ain't got time to be standing by nobody and have my life physically or mentally inflicted upon negatively because I'm standing by the wrong motherfucker. You know? Like I said, you would be then walked into a facility and that shit would be in the middle of a damn riot. Like, you don't know what the going on in these county jails. You can't see in there. You don't know what the going on in these home centers. You can't see in there. You be then walked in that motherfucker. You don't know what the fuck going on. So, like I said, story short, I just feel like, man, is everybody gonna play their role so that we can all build and make the world a better place, and everybody could, be free in their own rights and beliefs, or not?
Young Pharaoh.
Yes, sir.
We talked about some a little earlier about how the government has really kind of like plotted, and it's a long-term plan to kind of like even kind of steal our women from us. You know, they rely on them, you know, as a like place like daddy, most of them, some of them.
Right.
So do you think, in your opinion, do the black woman still love the black man?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
You know, just the state of affairs that's going on with it seems like it's a tit for tat.
I think people just need to realize that certain generations of people was just raised wrong. You know, some people are devious and evil in their calculative means, but some people just was genuinely raised to believe that wrong was right. You know,
That's a
so I
fact.
feel like
That's
we
a
got to
fact.
realize that it's still parts in the world where slavery was going on in the world. Slavery was still going on in this country. Imagine white people telling us that slavery ended in this year, but the feds and motherfuckers is busting for still doing slavery on back roads. Like they got hospitals where they give birth to unregistered children and do all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like, what was my point? Yeah, I just feel like we just got to deal with each other as we. It's like I said, like let me break this down. Like if you in jail, right? Like let's say you get sent to a prison. Like I said, you don't know where the fuck you would go. You would be sent on a gallery. It'd be nothing but Chinese. Our concept of time once again got to become cyclical. You know, like not just Egyptians teach it, but Buddhists teach it. You know, like the only time we got is now. You know what I'm saying? Past, present, and future is just the concept of what you're doing with an infinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just points within infinite space to calculate what you've done. So I say that to say, man, you know, we just got to deal with each other as we run into each other and be honest about our life experiences if we really gonna fix this shit. You know what I'm saying? To be honest about how the we was raised and what's really going on if we gonna fix this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can say.
It's tough, y'all. It's tough. I really, you know what I'm saying? I tried. I did my best. I always try to show grace to the brothers. I always try to show grace to my elders, the teachers of this community, the ones that have brought us knowledge, whether it was past, whether it's present, or whether it may be in the future. You know what I'm saying? You got to give grace to those who have tried. He genuinely tried. If you go watch, like I said, the first TOON TV interview may be his best interview ever, besides the one when he first came onto the consciousness scene, like on a bigger scale. Because he was doing his own thing, and then he came on House of Consciousness, Sonetta TV, which is basically the biggest black news in the country, maybe around the world, the most influential. That's where the brother Shaka Amos that I did the 2-part interview with, he came out of there. He's one of the greatest scholars to ever come through there, one of the greatest Egyptologists ever. That's why I called him one of my great teachers, along with General Yuti. General Yuti, my first teacher, and then I would say Shaka Amos, probably my second most influential teacher, most definitely. But yeah, family, part 2 is just not the same as part 1. You gotta stay professional. It's a time and a place. Gotta know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff you're just supposed to do in your home. Some stuff you're supposed to do in your home. That's all there is to it. But this was part 2 of Young Pharaoh, Real TOON TV. Hey, I'm glad y'all still tapping in with me, family. Yaou Family, peace to the goddesses and gods. It's your boy Chinzera, aka the one. And there's a reason for that. Probably because I am Chinzera Yuti, aka the one.